Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Monday, November 30th. And this morning I am joined by Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at Boomy TCF. I am Zach Lilia at Z Lilia TCF on Twitter. The main page is at typical_Chicago. This morning we'll be talking about how the Bears season is over. They ruined it tonight. Ugly performance in the biggest game of the season. The defense really showed that Akeem Hicks wasn't there. We'll get more into it, but it was brutal to watch. And then we'll talk about NFL Sunday, Week 12. We'll have a little recap of that. There's a little COVID problem going on in the NFL right now. They have moved some games back. Also did not change the game for the Denver Broncos, even though they had no quarterbacks because of COVID. So a bunch of stuff with that going on. And then, like always, we'll be ending the show with Boomys Wacky Web Story. If you want to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Go over to YouTube, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Please subscribe to the YouTube page. Our morning shows, podcasts, interviews. We got a food review coming up here soon that I am very excited about. And then wherever you get your podcast from, if it's Apple, please subscribe, rate, and review. Give us that 5-star rating. If it's anywhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. Shout out to 26shirts.com. Chicago, I got my 26 shirt on tonight. This morning, I guess, Boomy's got his in the background. If you want a shirt like this, go over to 26shirts.com, Chicago. And at checkout, use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. Shout out to 26shirts.com, Chicago. We love them over there. Great sponsor. Let's just, I don't really care how the weekend was. Let's just get right into this.
Great weekend.
Yeah, great weekend.
Shut up.
Bears season is over. It is 41-25 with 2:45 left in the fourth quarter as we speak, because this is like the longest game ever. I blame the commercials. But
first quarter and a half went really quick too.
Yeah,
crazy,
well,
because it flew by.
The Packers were just taking over the time of possession.
Aaron Jones is running the ball down the middle of the Bears' defense's throat. Absolutely.
I think somewhere in the second quarter, the Bears still only had 3 first downs the whole game. Ugly.
Yeah, before that last drive there at the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
More than they had under Foles in the first half, though, in the last 2 games.
It's true.
Yeah,
so
and
Mitch was a little bit of an upgrade.
I've heard it already. Oh, at least he played better than Foles. Guess what? They both suck. So I don't know what you want.
They're
from
both
me.
dog shit. The organization's dog shit. The coaching staff's dog shit. The front office is horrible.
I don't care if he is playing better than Nick Foles. It doesn't mean he's playing well.
You got about 7 guys on defense that you can build a team around, and you got maybe 2 or 3 on offense, and the offensive side that you like, and that's about it.
If you're Akeem Hicks, you take this game and you show the organization, you show anybody you can, and say, this is why you will pay me as much money as you can, because this guy he's so good that me and Boomy were talking. A guy replaced him, but you would have thought there was nobody
they just played
there.
With 10 guys.
It looked like it.
You know what I mean? Like,
it looked like it. Bilal Nichols is a fine player. Because
I keep hearing
he's a really good
defense looked bad tonight. It was because of Akeem Hicks, and that's how important he is. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy because I'm a Bears fan or whatever, but I really do think – I'm not saying they would win the game, but I would say it would at least change the running game. And Aaron Jones, that first quarter – and then into the second quarter, just took over the time of possession because they could just run it right at the middle whenever they wanted.
Yeah.
Yep. It was that well. When you're getting gashed defensively like that on the ground game, you know Aaron Rodgers is what he is. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's going to make an impact against any defense, good, bad, or indifferent. Mm-hmm. But when he's not the one that's just stuffing it down your throat. And tonight it was the ground game, and they just literally at will ran the ball and attacked the middle of the defense at will. And when you do that, and you have a receiver like Devontae Adams, and you've got him, getting in matchups with Buster Screen and Danny Trevathan, it's curtains, man. And that's how you get 24 points in the first quarter. And that's how you end up with Matt Nagy losing his job and Ryan Pace losing his job.
He was hurried 8 times tonight. 8 times. That cannot happen if you want to beat the Packers.
Well, it can't happen, especially when your team is built around Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack. And when your team, when you're
Aaron Rodgers doesn't even want to finish the game.
When you're, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't give that team I wouldn't give them the respect of like finishing the game against them. I'd say, face my mop
a little
up.
fight going on.
It's been chippy the whole night.
Well, see, he tried going forward. He tried going forward. That was the problem.
It's just so unbelievably
I'm
frustrating to watch this stupid ass team. And
bring on the Bulls. But it's over. The season is over now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At least we know.
Hey,
at least we don't have to ride it out another 2 or 3 weeks.
I'll say, hey, Boomy, I'll say one nice thing tonight. At least Aaron Rodgers came up and he shook everybody's hand. It's more than Tom Brady can say. It's more than Tom Brady can say. I'll give him that.
I think Brady did shake hands tonight, for what it's worth.
Yeah, because he lost, and it was
the better quarterback.
Yeah. He didn't shake Nick Foles' hand.
He did not.
But the Packers move on. Whatever. Probably going to win the division, and the Bears. They have, what week is it? 12. So they got 5 games left, right? 4?
So they're 6 and 6. So
and
they're 4 games left.
The way this playoffs are, I'm gonna get sucked back in. I already feel it.
Yeah.
But
we talked about that earlier.
For now,
it's one of those. You're not completely out of the woods yet.
Yeah. For now, the season's over to me. But we have next week. I think they play.
You got the Lions
next week. Who
cannot score?
Yeah, who has?
Is that a good
thing? No coach.
Is that a good thing? Do we want to see how we match up against a team that's equally as lifeless as we are?
I don't.
Good point.
So it's one of those things. You might not like what you uncover when you start flipping over rocks. You might not like what you see.
Yep, but we'll be back next Sunday. The season won't be over at noon next week. I'll make sure I'll be back. I'll be back for.
Bears do have a favorable schedule.
All right, Boomy, let's just take it easy for now.
Shut up, Boomy.
I'm just kidding.
Let's move on. We got the NFL Sunday Week 12 recap. Boomy, do you get the games for us?
I sure do, buddy. We'll start in Atlanta. The Atlanta Falcons absolutely
unbelievable. I had the Raiders were the last part of a 3-team parlay I had. And I thought, the Falcons,
my pick in our TCF parlay, so that was a really great pick on
and
mine.
It's one of those things, like, even, I don't know, a little bit into the third quarter, I'm like, okay, the Falcons can still blow this. And then, I mean, the Raiders couldn't do anything.
Nothing.
Talk about one of those games that just absolutely rips apart teasers. Shout out Pico. I'm sure he had them anchored in the bunch. But, it's one of those. It's a game you just did not see coming.
Raiders at Falcons, only 3.5. You could tease it down to maybe 1 or 2 or pick them or whatever.
Yeah, flip it the other way.
Yeah, and then boom. They can't even. They got beat by what, 30?
37.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, 43-6 is the final there. That's bad.
Because they weren't in prime time. It's not Gruden in prime time.
That's true. That is
or
true.
In Vegas.
That beautiful stadium.
It is.
Hold off the Chargers 27-17.
Just
man,
awful,
the Bills 8-3.
Awful, like, third, fourth quarter. They had a lot of interceptions just back and forth.
Yeah, they combined for 21 points between the two teams in the second half.
Turnover after turnover, just back and forth. Like, a lot of turnovers, there's points. There were no points for a long stretch there in that second half.
Yeah, that's a killer for any over. I don't know if that one did at don't know what the 51.5. That over did not hit.
It was on pace in the first half, though.
That's true. The first place New York Football Giants beat the Cincinnati Bengals to move them into I believe they're in first place.
They are in first place. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Them and the Washington football team are both at 4-7, which is sickening to say. Obviously, Cincinnati without Joe Burrow, but to stick in the game, impressive for them to do that.
I'm watching Aaron Rodgers just talk. When is he going to retire? When's he going to leave the Packers? What is this guy going to get out of my life?
Stupid ass fake Southern accent again tonight too. Are you going to do that stupid shit?
Oh my gosh! I mean, nightmares.
No, I'm not bitter though. I swear.
No, I don't
No, I wasn't. I would never assume that.
I don't care.
The Tennessee Titans run all over the Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts
I mean,
are not
Derrick
good.
Henry.
Derrick Henry in November, December. Ride that horse as far as you can go.
I was telling Zach tonight. I said, imagine being a grown adult and someone telling you have to try to tackle Derrick Henry. Like, no.
I was watching that game.
On the flip side of that, Boomy, imagine you're a grown adult who's supposed to be an intimidating ass human being.
Well,
yeah,
I
you're
watched
supposed to be a bad
I watched the game.
It's not like it's the three of us. You're supposed to be like an NFL middle linebacker. You know?
Yes.
I watched the game, and AJ Brown is a big man too.
AJ Brown's a freak.
He's humongous.
Him and DK Metcalf were on the same goddamn college team.
You either got to tackle Derrick Henry or you got to tackle AJ Brown.
Couldn't stop anything at Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. They had no quarterback to get him.
If you look at this,
that's the problem.
If you look at that Titans team, they're good. They just for
the
some
Titans
reason
have two of the most imposing offensive players with Derrick Henry and, like you said, AJ Brown. Zach.
Yeah,
you bring those two physical presence against you, and they can do so much damage. It's crazy.
80 or 78 yards for Derrick Henry. Like I said, 45-26 in.
Like, I'm glad you brought up Brown too, though, Zach. And like that, look at that kick return on the onside kick. Like he takes the ball, recovers it on an onside kick, and returns it 48 yards for a touchdown. Like it's just. It's certain players have a knack for making big ass plays like that, and I know that's a freak play, and it takes a lot of things for something like that to come to fruition for no matter who it is.
It takes skill,
but
though.
When it's a guy like that, he finds a way to make those plays.
Mm-hmm.
And he, even that touchdown against the Bears, he had what 3 or 4 catches, but he makes one play a game that literally seals the game up, and just it just makes it an unrecoverable, a play. Mm-hmm. Guys like that, just you got to snatch up when you can. They got 2 of them. That's crazy.
In Jacksonville, the Browns take home a 27-25 win to move to 8-3. But guys,
oh my God, boys.
Good. I can't talk. Mike Glennon, 20 of 35, 135 yards.
I mean, we're not gonna stop. We're not gonna redo it. But I spelled Sunday Suday.
Whoops.
Today sucked.
I'm leaving it in there, boys. I'm leaving it in there.
Leave it in there.
Where do you want me to pick up?
Just keep going.
All right. Mike Glennon coming in for Jacksonville. They're obviously on their 3rd or 4th quarterback. 20 of 35 for 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Baker Mayfield, 19 of 29, had a decent game. They won the game, but I don't know if I trust Baker Mayfield as far as I can throw him, to be honest with you.
That guy, he threw a pick today. That ball was so poorly fucking thrown. It was in the first half, just an unbelievably bad pick inside the 30. And he makes 1 or 2 plays like that a game that are just it's almost unforgivable.
Yeah,
talented ass guy though. Talented ass guy. He's got a lot of upside to him as well. I don't mean
to tarnish him, but
well, yeah, he's a good book club guy. So it's obviously he knows what he's doing, but. I don't know. The Browns are a good team, I think. I think they might be one of those teams you don't want to face them. I mean, they've got guys who make plays. They really do. When you can throw a Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, regardless of what mistake Baker Mayfield's going to make, you got guys that can make big plays outside of him.
Absolutely. No, I think they're going to be a little dangerous. The best game of the weekend, probably the Vikings hold off the Carolina Panthers 28-27. But if I'm not mistaken, did Dalvin Cook leave the game with an injury?
I'm not sure.
I'm not 100%. last year. I know
I
he
did
was
see
being
that
looked
comeback,
at. He only had 61 yards. But yeah, what a wild game in Minnesota on that one.
Yeah, Minnesota wins that game. Ugh. Yuck.
What a gross division.
Yeah, I'm tired of it.
Gross division.
I'm over
Patriots,
it.
they still the Patriots can't decide whether they want to win football
They
games
barely
or not
won
because
that game.
they get the hell beat out of them in games they shouldn't, and then they they beat the Texans, and then they turn around, they beat the Cardinals.
This is bullshit, though. I had the Cardinals money line. The Cardinals were in control of this game for about 3.5 quarters,
and then missed a field goal at the end. Under a minute.
Brutal miss too. How do you miss? What was it? 45 or
maybe
that?
Maybe 45.
Can't have it. Can't have it, especially a team that you think is might have a chance to make a little bit of a run.
Another team you don't want to see in the playoffs. I think if they can get, that their offense is good, but they only scored 17 against a very mediocre New England team.
Definitely.
So we'll see. Definitely. Jets continue to Jets. They lose 20-3 at home versus the Dolphins on 3 points. 3 points. That is the worst.
They are worse than the Bears. They're worse than the Bears.
That's true, and they are. I think they're worse than that.
Yeah, but guess what? They'll probably have Trevor Lawrence next year.
Yep. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Except we've never had a quarterback.
Right?
Dude, Maddie, we were watching the game tonight. I'm sorry to go back to this. Where they have this graphic of quarterbacks, whatever. We had Sid Luckman on there again.
Sid Luckman, the guy my dad didn't even see. Jesus.
That's how far we got to go. It was like Jay Cutler, then him.
Sid Luckman didn't qualify for World War II because of age. So this is a guy.
What a fact.
I don't know if it is or not. It sounds real though, so I'm gonna go with it.
It was.
I had you convinced. That's all that matters. Is selling it is half the battle. But I don't know. It's one of those. It's so mind blowing, dude.
If you just look at the shirt too, boom, all the names.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, you look at even Boomy's stupid organization, and they've had 2 in the last 30 years that most organizations would be desperate for. They line them up on top of
2 Super Bowls.
They don't know how to close the deal, but it's just, it is what it is. So I just want somebody that I can be happy about. Just give me somebody. I don't need Patrick Mahomes. We obviously missed the boat there. You don't recover from misses like that, and frankly, Deshaun Watson isn't that good anyway. I'm just going to say that now again, because if Deshaun Watson was so good, Houston would be better than they are. Houston's the Bears. Houston's no different than the Bears. They're the exact same team.
Man, you do got to give him the fact that they did trade his best receiver away.
Yeah.
Hey,
best receiver in the NFL, probably.
Definitely the best receiver in the NFL. Hey, they got David Johnson though.
That's true.
Can't ever find a good running back. That's for sure.
Don't mean to be rude, boys. Well, let's get this over with so I can go cry myself to sleep.
The Saints beat a quarterbackless football team.
That.
I think that's the first time in our life we've ever seen that. 31-3. Good on the Broncos for at least scoring 3. That's 3 more than I thought they were going to score.
Yeah, the NFL screwed them over.
Absolutely. Like, come on. Like, you've moved like 4 or 5
games. A lot of different
already.
reasons, and just because it probably doesn't really mean anything because of their record, you make them play. Like, come on.
I had seen that.
They were trying to do the right thing by saying that like these people are exposed and like stuff like that, and still the NFL just screws them over.
Yeah, I had seen that Denver tried to activate their quarterback coach, so I would love.
I don't see what. Come on, man.
How do you not let them? Come on. How do you not?
Oh, that set a bad precedent. It's like, dude, like a lot of crazy things are gonna happen this year.
You know what sets a bad precedent? It's fucking COVID.
Yeah.
Bad precedent. So
what's a bad precedent is having to watch a practice squad wide receiver attempt to play quarterback. That poor guy had no chance.
Shout out him now, dude. I think that was Kendall Hinton. He played at Wake Forest as a quarterback for a couple seasons, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I give him credit.
It's one of those things too. Like everybody thinks about, like, what can I do in an NFL game? Well, you can go out and even if you were a D1 quarterback, you can go 2 for 9 with 3 picks.
Yeah, he was 1 for 9 for 13 yards with 2 interceptions.
I would
Yeah.
just be
Not even
I'd
3
be
for 9,
so
1 for 9.
confused on the play calls. Like, what?
Oh,
What is going on here?
Well, it's not like you would think a practice squad wide receiver has like a total grasp of the playbook
No.
either.
well, and if
You
he
know, it's
does,
not
he
like-
has it down at wide receiver, not
Well, right.
quarterback.
I'm running the X and the Y. I'm not
Yeah,
the whole
exactly.
goddamn ship here.
Yeah,
Hey, good deal for them for giving him nine attempts in the air game.
absolutely.
Too. You let him throw the ball a little bit.
Let him wing it. The Rams continue to be plagued by the 49ers. 49ers win 23-20. The Rams, I don't know what it is with the Rams and 49ers.
what they were
Rams
doing in that
cannot
game.
beat.
Jared Goff just kind of stinks. Like, he's a decent quarterback, but like when he's bad, I know when he's bad. Bad.
Would you take him in Chicago right
Not
now?
with his contract.
Oh, that's yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's a big contract for a guy like that.
Yeah,
But I would take him as a quarterback. Yes.
yeah, he's serviceable. The Chiefs outlast the Buccaneers. Chiefs jump out to an early lead, hold off the Buccaneers 27-20. But the big story there, who was it? Tyreek Hill, 269 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. That is absurd. And Tampa's got a good defense, but giving up almost 270 passing yards to one guy, that is insane.
He's very good.
Absolutely. We'll quickly run down the Thursday games. Texans hold off the Detroit Lions 41-25. The Lions are dead. They got Matt Patricia fired. And then the Washington football team rout the Dallas Cowboys 41-16. Tonight we have the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Seattle Seahawks. And Tuesday night, I believe the second Tuesday night game we've seen all year, we will see the Ravens and Steelers that was supposed to be on Thursday night.
Hey,
so
we got some football the next 2 nights. I
we
like
get
that.
I love Tuesday night football.
I
So
like that a lot.
Matt, you're muted.
God damn it! God forbid you give us 2 games on Tuesday though. With Denver giving him a starting quarterback.
Yeah,
to
give
play
me
on
like
Tuesday.
a 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. start.
Also,
we'll ride it right
NFL,
into the Tuesday night
for
game.
letting this Bears game go to the primetime game, it's on you. That's on you.
Yeah, totally agree.
What are you doing? Like, no
Totally
one
agree.
wants that. Like, definitely the
I
Chiefs,
didn't.
Buccaneers game would have been way better than primetime.
Literally every game today would have been better than this dog shit game.
Well, I disagree.
Jets
The
game?
Raiders and Falcons, no one wanted to see that. Or
Whatever,
the
Boomie.
Jets attempt to play football
I'm over it.
against Miami.
I'm over it. And yes, I know I spelled Sunday wrong. I don't care. If you're watching this, I don't
It
care.
happens. It happens. That's all we got on the NFL slate
Oh, yeah.
for this week.
I'm hosting the show.
It's not the pot.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell are you talking about, Boomy?
Move on. Let's go.
Let's move on. Great transition,
Come
Boomy.
on.
COVID in the NFL, like you said. We have the Ravens Steelers game moved to Tuesday. No Lamar Jackson because he tested positive for COVID. So that is a big blow to that team.
You're going to see RG3?
I think that's got to be the backup, isn't it?
If not, it's that kid from Penn State that's like huge on social media.
We'll have to see. But like I said, we got a Monday, Tuesday game, so I'm excited about that. But like I said, the Broncos got screwed over by the NFL. That was awful. I think that they handled that badly. And if it wasn't the Broncos, it's the Broncos, they weren't probably going to win that game either way. It would have been a bigger deal. Like that was swept under the rug as like that was kind of a shitty thing to do.
Yeah, do you think if Tampa Bay had come down with quarterback having COVID, would they have let that game go on? No chance.
Well, any team that's like in it, like the
Even
Steelers, like come on.
Yeah,
totally agree.
Like they at least would have given them a chance to get something.
Rodgers, this game doesn't happen tonight.
No.
You know, but since it's the Broncos and they're not going to the playoffs, who cares?
Yeah, it's kind of a shitty situation.
I thought it was bogus. You can't do a team like that.
No. But Boomy, you got a wacky web story for us on this show.
I do, and it kind of harps back to a story I was going to use last week and ended up not using it. I came across a different one, but I'm sure you've seen about it. This mysterious metal monolith was found in the desert in Utah, and no one knows how it got there. There wasn't tracks that led up to it to see like if it got dropped off a truck. The only thing they can think is maybe it got like brought in by a helicopter or something along those lines. It's a 12-foot metal structure, and the Utah Bureau of Land Management had no idea how it got there. And then fast forward a couple days, it's gone. Yeah, so today, it was all over the news last week that this monolith had appeared in the desert, and now they have said that it is basically just disappeared. So they have no idea how it got there. And they have no idea where it went. So, I'm pretty sure it's aliens, but, we'll wait and see.
Definitely. It's definitely aliens. There's no question.
Yeah, now they're just toying with us.
It's not even up for debate.
Aliens.
It's not up for debate at all.
And
aliens
Utah's not that far from, Area 51. So
I think I saw that same article too, Boomy. It was like just like basically like a metal cylinder, wasn't it? Like
it was like a triangle, and it was just 12 feet metal.
Yeah. Just implanted into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saw the same picture. Absolutely ridiculous, by the way. If we're just not going to assume that was.
Yeah, they're just
terrestrial activity.
They're just toying with us. They're like, we're going to put this here, and then 3 days later, we're going to take it away, and all these idiots are going to be like, oh, what's going on?
Well, the frustrating thing about this too is, it seems like every 3 weeks, a different galaxy or a different planet or a different fucking wherever is discovered.
Yeah.
If we honestly are going to come to the conclusion that we're the only life form that's doing remotely close to what we're doing right now,
it's kind of big.
Short-sighted.
I bet an alien could play better quarterback for the Bears.
If not quarterback, at least offensive line or play calling, no question.
You probably would have a lot of awesome.
Like if you want to go back at some of those guys on even the aliens in Independence Day, and I know those were dated 20-some years ago, so those aliens were nowhere near as advanced as the ones we're going to come across today. But you look at that, even they were able to communicate with us through plexiglass windows in a contained environment when they were basically dead. So if those aliens could do that, imagine what 25 years of advancement can do.
Because like 25 years here is probably like, a ton of years there. They're probably millennium in front of us.
Remember the thing was saying peace, no peace. It's I don't know.
Yeah, we're in for it.
We
got trouble ahead.
The quarterback for the Broncos was 1 for 9 with like 19 yards,
13 yards,
3 interceptions, 2 interceptions.
2. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
I blame
completed
the NFL.
one extra
Roger
pass.
Goodell, come on, man.
He's completed more passes in the NFL than all three of us combined. So
that is true, Boomy. Anything post-show, boys?
He's also got a lot more picks than all three of us do, too. What a loser.
That's true as well. Probably made a lot more money than we have, though, too.
But
maybe.
anything post-show?
We'll talk about it later in the week, but, man, college basketball being back and being played at 10 a.m. is, like, the greatest thing that's happened to me this year.
It's pretty sweet when you're off for a week, I'm not going to lie.
Maddie's pumped.
I love it.
Maddie's so pumped he's talking in the third person right now. So, yeah, to say the least.
I love it.
My first day for Thanksgiving break was Wednesday, and I was, that 9 a.m. tip was really, really nice to see. So I got to enjoy tip-offs, not having to worry about work the whole week. I
feel like we're going to see some just crazy schedules in basketball when it's all said.
Dude, all these schools are in,
a lot of these games
all online.
You won't even know.
Why not?
You won't even know some of these games until the day before.
Yeah.
What conference was it, too, that had, I think it was the Atlantic 10 maybe, that had, 4 or 5 games amongst interconference teams playing against each other. Like, all they're doing is playing conference games against each other. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and, I look at it, I remember my time with the NIU women's team. There's a lot, if you're over 6 hours away, you don't want to bus that night after a game. I mean, you're leaving the arena at 10 o'clock at night. You don't want to bus home and get home at 5 a.m., so you usually stay an extra night in a hotel. If you can play that game at noon and be back by midnight, I mean, why would you not move that thing up and get a jump on the on the road home? I think that you're going to see a lot of teams, especially when we get towards Christmas break, because I'd imagine a lot of colleges are probably getting close to that, with finals and everything. Why not move them up? Why not get these guys home earlier, not have to spend another night in another random town eating, random restaurants and sleeping in hotels and stuff? Get these guys home, get them moving.
Well, between that, but they can also set up even some, relatively self-contained bubbles too.
Yeah,
my niece goes to University of Minnesota, and they basically have the option of they can either come back or not. They can do all their remaining classes the rest of the semester remotely. So it seems like that's what a lot of the major colleges and universities are going to, is that platform. Just stay at home if don't bring everybody back. And if that's the case, there's no reason that the basketball programs for the men's and women's and some of the other sports programs can't set up their own bubbles. You know what I mean? So
even if it's these small weekend bubbles like you saw in Champaign, they had 4 teams there. That everybody gets 3 games, and you play 2 a day.
Cranking out round robins. We were making fun of kind of the field house vibe of some of these games, but embrace it. You know what I mean? Let's embrace it. Play 2 or 3 games in a day if that's what you need to. If that's how you get 40 minutes to run. I don't know. At some point, you just start getting some live play, and a lot of these teams, your Illinois and some of these good teams, regardless if they have a down performance against a team, they're not going to not make the tournament because of it.
Right.
This year especially, teams from the major conferences are going to get the advantage in a tournament over some of the mid-major at-large teams. So it's just going to be the way it is. They're going to be favored, and that's just the way. So embrace it. You might as well use that to your advantage.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I can't wait.
It'll be fun. But thank you for joining me, Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at Boomy TCF. I'm Zach Lillia at ZLillia TCF on Twitter. The main page is at typical_Chicago, Instagram, Facebook, Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Go over to the YouTube page, subscribe to the YouTube page. Morning shows, podcasts, interviews, food reviews are all on there. And then wherever you get your podcast from, if it's Apple, please subscribe, rate, and review. If it's anywhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us wherever podcasts are done, I think. I think we're on all platforms. And then thank you to 26shirts.com Chicago. I got the shirt on tonight. Boomy's got in the background. If you want shirts just like that, go over to 26shirts.com Chicago. Promo code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. Anything else, boys?
Let's have a week.
Shut up.
That's a good way to end it. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Monday, November 30th. We love you all.
Peace.